Greetings, fellows. I'm Mr. Schmello, and today I'm going to show you how I make buttons in Clickteam Fusion. So it's not a glamorous job making buttons by any means. So here's the second thing. So I've made two versions of this. One complete version. I'll just show the programming now. There's page 1. There's page 2. There's page 3. There we go. Oh, actually no, sorry. I want this. Here's page 1. Here's page 2. Here's page... Oh, that's all the pages. There we go. So that's at least the spoilers out the way. And I'll show what this is supposed to do. So the eventual thing is, I like to make buttons in my games that behave like Windows buttons. And Windows buttons behave like you have your cursor here, you put it over the thing, nothing happens, you click and hold, it stays held down, and then if you move the cursor off, continuing to hold the button, it'll stop being pressed, you move it back on, it'll look pressed. So if you kind of drag from off the button, it doesn't count. And if you drag from on the button and put it back on, it does count. And it just, I don't know, it just feels familiar, you know? I think most people are using Windows. My buttons in Super Space Galaxy do behave this way. I've tried to mimic Windows functionality as much as I can, right down to the slider buttons and things. So that's that. And I'll show just step by step how I did this. So I've got two buttons in the picture as well, just to show that this does work with multiple buttons. And right, so first I'll show what's in the button objects. You just got two frames here. You've got one of the button looking not so pressed, and then another of it looking pressed. So you can put your graphics in there, whatever they are. And the great thing about this is you could use the other of the 32 directions down here to put up to, 31 different button types in here and stuff if you wanted to do it that way. Then... am I looking at the right version? Yeah. So then what I want to do is add a qualifier, because what you can do is program this generally using a group. And it would make more sense to use the buttons group. Here it is. Now I should stress, like, these groups are just kind of aesthetic, so it makes sense to use the buttons group, but you could use any group. Like, I could use the generic one group or something and treat that as buttons. There's nothing special about the buttons group as such. It just happens to have a nice icon and be called buttons. Now, and that obviously doesn't do anything by itself. What we've got in the programming-free version is that these objects are going to just flicker back and forth. I should also mention that this is kind of important, actually. I found a weird bug with my method if you don't have the animation loop. Somehow if you don't make it loop, then you get a bug I'll show in a separate clip. Yes, in case I don't get the bug again, here it is. I can still hear the buttons being activated, but for some reason, because I haven't put on the looping, they've been known to just stay stuck on the second frame here, and I don't really get how that is. If I put on loop here, just loop down here to make the animation loop, they will start working, and they won't do this problem again. Yeah, like that. And if you make it loop, then everything's going to be alright. So long as you select this tick box for loop, you're going to be okay. And it'll work the way it's supposed to work. Now, let's get to actually programming the buttons. So far, there's nothing really in here. They just flicker back and forth. Let's make it so that I can quit by pressing escape. Escape. And then we end the application. Save that. Yeah, so now if I run this little demo, press escape, just something I like to have in my convenient demos. So the first thing is that there's 3 flags in my button system, 1, 2, and 3, and we'll go through what all 3 of them do. You kind of use them one after another. I've got the actual complete programming on the other screen here. So let's have you left click or double click. And a couple of things about clicking. The green text apparently means that this uses this sort of Windows functionality where this will respond immediately. So it kind of takes place outside the time flow of the program cycles. So just be aware that stuff that's in green, particularly left clicking and things like that, that's going to be you can't guarantee the timing of that. So you might have to link up. That's why I like to link up the timing here with other things. Because normally it goes from the top to the bottom, and what order you do things in matters. But when it comes to left clicking, that uses this Windows stuff where the timing is not really guaranteed so much. So just be aware of that as well, because the timing can matter. So if we say it clicks and your mouse, not that. I'm not doing this right. Add a new condition, and your mouse is over a button object. And let's say for that as well. And we'll say that the button object's flag off is 1. Right, so we just got, I mean, as you see, we got 2 parallel conditions here. One for left clicking and one for double left clicking. And this is where Clickteam's a little bit pedantic, because technically a double left click doesn't count as a regular left click. So I sometimes have a variable to govern both of them and just turn it into a left click thing. So if you've got a bunch of different conditions about double left clicking and single left clicking, you might want to condense those down into a variable so that you can handle it more simply. Okay, so that's the right condition, and then we set flag 1 on for both of those. Now that so far just means that when you've got your cursor over the button and you click, it will kind of register that the button is alert now, like what we saw in the this complete demo here. If I click and hold, the button kind of becomes alert and it knows that it's the button you're interested in. So that's what flag 1 means. I might put that up on screen. As we do these flags, I'll explain what they mean. But once this is done, we won't need to worry about the flags anymore, really, except for flag 3. But there we go. So that alertizes the buttons. And now we say that if the cursor is over the button and flag 2 is on, no, sorry, flag 1 is on. Oh, screw it, not that, not that. And then we can set flag 2 on. So that would mean that your cursor is over a button that's alertized like that. It's just, what's that? Yes. Then we say that if flag 2 is off, make its animation 0. So it's a bit awkward changing animation frames in this, so I'll show this in a sec. So if 2 is on, yes, and then we make the animation set to 1. And so the annoying thing I'm talking about is this thing about entering a frame. Yeah, the first frame is 0, it says up here. Well, because it's not 0 based in this, that's the awkward thing. Like it says 1 and 2 here, but what we're actually setting it to is 0 and 1, because it's 0 based in one of them and then 1 based in the other, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. Right, so that sets up some of this. Let's see how it is. So if I click and hold, it will look held down all the time. But now it's kind of just staying active as well. It's not switching that stuff back off. So, let's see. What we now need is a separate condition about letting go. So, well, the mouse key... Well, you don't have the mouse key pressed. Oh, that seems to be not a green thing as well. Interesting. I did not even realize. And flag 2 is on for these. Oh, right, yes, okay. No, I've got it. Set flag 3 on. Now for this, flag 3 just means the button has been clicked, right? That's the thing. Flag 3 means it's been pressed, and that's my output for the button. So if you want to know if a button has been clicked, you check if its flag 3 is on. That's just my rule. We'll also make it so that letting go when flag 1 is on sets flag off 1. Is that right? Let me double check this. I think that's right. I just need to add some more stuff. But right, yes. Okay, so also up here, this is why I haven't done it yet, I want to add something about flag 2. If flag 2 is on, so if the button is kind of held over like that, and then we just set flag 2 off. Now let's see if that behaves. Okay, yeah. Right, cool. And I'll also explain, I'll make a sound effect. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it. I'm sure will. I'm not sure about the sound sync even. But I'll make it so that when flag 3 is on, because flag 3 is the flag for whether the button has actually been clicked, right? And like, I know it's a bit dizzying right now, but in the end, what matters is just these buttons will output flag 3 is on if they've been clicked. So we'll say just a nice little sound effect. And we'll also have it so that if flag 3 is on, we'll set flag 3 off. So it can only be clicked on for one cycle before it goes back off again. It's not going to stay clicked. So what we should hear... There we go. Well, I'm hearing it anyway. I don't know how the timing is. We're now hearing flag 3 happening. And that's pretty much it. I'll explain what the flags all are on screen now, I think. I know that's a bit abstract and dizzying. I'll show page 1. Here is page 1 of the stuff. Here is page 2 of the stuff. So there you go, that is the full programming. I'll put it all on screen at once as well. There we go. And that is generic stuff. So you could make other kinds of objects. You could make other active objects that are also in this qualifier of being buttons, and so long as you arrange them in the same way, where they've got unpressed state in frame 1 or 0, and then a pressed state in frame 2 or 1, then you've got it, and make sure the animations loop so they work. And there you go, and it'll go from basically having, flag 1 is off, flag 1 is on, and then flag 2 is on, and then flag 3 is on if you let go on the button, right? So there's an escalation there up the flags to flag 3. And that's pretty much it. So even if you don't quite follow what the flags are, you can just copy the programming I've done, and you too can have cool Windows-like buttons in your games, and there you go. Do you have a game you've always wanted to make, but don't know how to get started? My coaching program is designed to help you finish your first game in Clickteam Fusion 2.5. Click the link in the description to learn more, and let's get you on the path to being the game developer you've always wanted to be.